this is Timothy Bond with True Vibe Publishing Company, and you are watching the next episode of The Right Change, where our guest today is Marquis Walker, author of Cevere's Chronicles, Volume 2.
That's right.
What's up, Marquis? How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother, man? It's good to be back on the show, man. You know,
Absolutely.
The first episode, that was great. You know what I'm saying?
Knowing you, we're probably going to have 3, 4, 5 different interviews coming up. Because I know in this interview, we're talking about 2 books. Let's tap into the first book. You called me and you said, I have an ebook idea. Yep. And you said you didn't really want to do a big campaign. You just wanted to do ebook. And this was called
Cevere's Extended Plays.
Plays.
EPs Need Love 2, Volume 1. Now, the reason I did this one was because, you know, I do actual album reviews. And, you know, albums, I always consider albums over, you know, it's controversy online. And, you know, what album, what's an album, what's an EP. But I try to, like, when I do an album, it got to be full of, you know, it got to be at least 10 or more songs. It got to be something like with some girth in it, you know, something that, you know, maybe 35, 45 minutes, something that's, you know, that's gonna, you know, you can listen to and take a trip with, you know what I mean? That you can vibe with. So that's why I wanted to do the books actual with the albums. But I do EPs too. So I always said EPs need love too, and that's why it's an extended title from Cevere's Extended Plays, which is EPs need love too. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to bless the people that, you know, put their heart and soul into the EPs as well, because artists, they do put a lot of sweat and tears into the EPs. So I said, what I can do is I can still review the EPs and just do them as ebooks. So I want to do an ebook series of EPs. So, you know, so that's what I'm doing. So,
yeah. So what I didn't know until I started seeing the sales come in is you actually have a global audience. I mean, we get sales in Germany and UK. So I'd love to hear from you, because I saw one of your posts.
Oh, wow.
I saw one of your posts and you were like, you really get personal in your posts. Like, you talk directly to people. And so evidently somebody made you unhappy, or a producer or something. So what is your connection in the music world, man? What I mean, evidently you've got some influence, and you can get under people's skin if you don't give a favorable approval. So talk to us.
Let me put it this way, man. I've been doing this for quite some time, pretty much all my life, but I haven't been really present because I haven't been on social media. You know, back in the day, of course, because there was still social media. But like, once there was social media, I started like tapping in with producers, rappers, and whoever's in the game, and just building relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing. And that particular producer on Instagram, you know, when he first started 2 years ago, I was like his #1 fan. I was bigging him up. He was even using my sound bites on his music, like because I already had my foot in the game. So he was using my voice and stuff, and, you know, to elevate his platform, and you know, a lot of stuff was going on. So like me, I was always promoting him. I thought he was a good producer. And what he thought I was selling for the ebook, Cevere's Extended Plays. He's one of the first ones I put in there. And so he thought I was stealing his actual music. Instead of like hitting me in an email or somewhere in a personal message, he came out in the public and started like kind of slashing at me. And I was like, dude, hold on, man. I'm not stealing your music. Promoting you. Just promoting your music. I'm not. He thought I was taking his music and selling it on Amazon.
Oh, and wow.
Like, whoa. Like, dude, you known me for 2 years. I've been one fan. I've been promoting you, even if the music's subpar. And I've been, what I'm saying? I've just been one of them people that's...
Give one more jab, Marquis. Give one more jab.
I've been championing him. I ain't got to say his name. If he sees it, no. But you know what I mean? Like, I've been, championing his music and his whatever. And then, eventually he came in the DMs and we had a conversation. But he still tried to come at me because he still didn't really register like what I was doing. I'm like, dude, I've been reviewing for 2-3 years.
Right.
You know what I do. I'm like the source. The source or the Vibe magazine, they talk about everybody.
Right.
They don't pay the artists for talking about their albums, the EPs.
Uh-huh.
And when he finally got it, he still kind of was bitter. I told him, listen, there's so many artists out there. I'm gonna keep your name out my mouth. And I said, and I just basically deleted them. You know what I mean? Like there's so many artists out there, man. I don't need you coming at me, especially not being a man. Like you're not a man, you're a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was a man, you would have came at me like, yo, Mark, what's up? What's going on, man?
Right. Get some understanding first.
Just like other artists did. Other artists hit me up too, but they hit me up in a private message and say, hey man, what's up? I go, oh yo, this is that. And we talk like you know, adults. You know what I'm saying? So
well, I tell you what, man, the great thing about that, it's better to have a productive problem than to have no problems. And in my opinion, you could be putting stuff out and nobody cares because they don't give any credence to your opinion. So it really speaks to the impact that you have in the industry. There are a lot of unsung heroes. Sounds like you're one of those unsung heroes, man. And I always told you I love your passion for hip hop, for music. Talk to people about, what's the inspiration for you putting out these books?
Just to give back, man. Like I really believe, hip hop saved my life because I was like going down the wrong path when I was a youngster, discovering hip hop and still in the streets at the same time, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But like hip hop would keep me in the house, man, and it would just keep me grounded and to keep me, when it did started going to the parks or when it's, went into breakdancing and it went into like other things of that nature, graffiti. It took me that route, and I kind of got more out the street with the gangs and the corny stuff, and I kind of went more towards hip hop, and I kind of continued to stay there because it gave me value, it gave me substance, it gave me something to do. You know what I mean? And I just loved it ever since. So I think I owe hip hop something. So you know what I'm saying. And plus, I people think people live hip hop, people breathe hip hop. It's like a religion in a sense, right? Yeah. So I've always done it since it's begun, and I've always been attracted to it and loved it. So I'm paying back my dues, man. So like I see an album, I see a new musician or whatever it is, an artist, and I just want to tap in, tune in, and it's just something I love doing. I love listening to music. It keeps me out of trouble again, like even in my adult life, and it does something to my heart and my soul, man. I feel it. I really get hip hop goosebumps. And so I love it, man. And so I strive to make other artists, even if the artist just came out or the artist been out for 20 years like Nas, I'm going to tap into them, you know what I'm saying? But I only do good reviews. I don't do bad reviews. Like if Nas did a bad album, I will never review it.
Really?
That's not who I am. I'm optimistic. So I'd rather review artists that I love, that at least the majority of the album I love or the EP, and then I give them some shine and give them some promotion, free promotion, and whoever's listening to me, they usually, like you said, I think a lot of people do respect my talent on my opinion, and that's one of the reasons they kicked me off Twitter. I think somebody reported me on Twitter because I didn't review their album. So I haven't been on Twitter for like 2 months, 3 months because they suspended my account because somebody reported me.
Wow.
And I think it was because it was prior to that, somebody asked me to review their album, and I was like, I didn't say no like that, but I basically said, I gotta love it, I gotta like it, and
really.
I think that person, it was another newer artist, and he got a little sensitive. I think he's a little sensitive, and he next thing I know, I couldn't log on. I'm like, what did I do? But I got Threads, I got Instagram, I got TikTok, I got YouTube, Facebook, so I'm fine.
I want to present this question because I don't want to lead. So the reason I'm asking this question the way I'm asking it is because I don't want to lead you, okay? But I want to present a question that someone may have, and that is, if you only do good reviews, how do people trust that you're giving non-biased? Does that make sense? Non-biased opinions. So how would you answer
a lot of sense.
Question
now I do have a podcast, and people can ask me any question. I always tell people you can ask me any question, anything. And some people have tested the waters, so they would ask me something, and I'll tell the truth on the podcast live. You know what I mean? Like I don't hold my tongue. I won't dismantle that artist. But in my mind, I'll still break them down smooth, but like politely, and say like it's not for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I think I just like what I like, and you can't force me to like your album. A lot of artists go on my DMs and be like, "Yo, can you do this? Can you do that?" So let me listen to it. Let me check it out. I'll check it out, and I get back to them, and I respectively decline, or I say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna put this in a book. Maybe I'll do it later."
Yeah.
But at least I'll give them the communication. I don't just be like, and they some of them want promotion now. They want the review now, and I'm like, listen, you know how many books I got? How many of these composition notebooks I got of artists that I haven't done yet? Like,
wow.
Wait in line. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna do your album, I want to feel it, and I'm gonna do it on my own time. You can't tell me to do your album now. That's another little battle. They be like, "Can you do it now? Can I get on the show now?" Because I interview artists too, and I'm like, yo, you got to wait in line. I got 2 months of artists already.
Do you charge
No.
for reviews? Okay.
No, I don't charge for reviews at all. All I ask for is, from them to support the clothing line, or to buy a book now, or there's an app on my description that you can buy it's I think some type of coffee app, but you can buy a coffee, buy a tea, buy a beer, but not like physically, but you know what I mean, literally, and you just you can donate $1, $2. So I just ask for a little bit of here and there. I mean, do they do it? Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they buy a t-shirt. Sometimes they buy a hoodie. Sometimes they buy the books and support. But and that's the blessing. But a lot of them, they just want free. They want free stuff. Everybody want free stuff, man. I mean, I do everything for free. In my mind, I'd be like, yo, can I get something back? Like, can y'all send me one of y'all t-shirts? Like, something that some of y'all merch. But I don't force it. I don't act. I just let it be organic and let it.
I'll speak from my own personal experience. While reviewing your books and editing your books, I've gone on and pulled up some of these songs on, Spotify, because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that joint. Let me pull that up, So, and that's, I mean, when you think about it, that's money in the bank for them, because, I mean, of course, it's like 0.001 cents per stream or whatever, but still,
Or you might buy the vinyl. You never know. Right. You might like the album so much, you might buy the CD and vinyl, or go buy some of their merch because of me. But I don't ask for that. I swear I never ask. If you watch all my interviews or my reviews when it's just me and not just the artist. If I'm just reviewing an artist on my own, I don't be like, hey, artist, you better give me some money. Oh, artist, you better buy my book. I don't do that. I just say, if you could, not to the artist. I say, if anyone's watching, they want to support me, and that's including the artist, but I don't say that. But if you want to be generous, I'm saying, I let it be organic, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't try to force somebody's hand, because I won't want nobody to tell me that I gotta pay them by with something. You know what I'm saying? So,
have you had or ever had like an iconic artist, or iconic in your opinion, right? It doesn't have to be Beyonce or these super mega stars, but have you ever had an iconic artist reach out to you from the work or from what you do?
I've had a lot of artists not reach out to me, but I reach out to them, and they've blessed the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has to go watch the THHC podcast, which stands for the Hip Hop Connoisseur Podcast, on YouTube, and you can see some of your favorite artists and some of those artists that I'm talking about. Because who I think is iconic, you might not think is iconic.
Right.
But I have. Just recently, I was at Raw Digga and Saw Rock concert, and Raw Digga is in, of course, book 2, and I gave her a free copy, and we took a picture together, and it was that was one of my best moments. I'm like, for me to give her the gift, and for her to have the idea to take the picture with the book, and then because I was buying the merch too, but what I'm saying, I had a t-shirt in my hand, and she had the book, and she's smiling like crazy, and I loved it, man.
That needs to be everywhere. That should be in your background right now. You need to put a poster up on your wall with that.
I know. I'm eventually will. I'm gonna do something, man, because Raw Digga is one of my fans, and I got to meet Saw Rock too. She's another great lyricist. So yeah, it was a great moment. They came on Monday and blessed the Boston stages, man. So that was one of one of my moments. I was like, oh, I'm fanning out. You know what I'm saying? So
what is and I know I need to get to volume 2, but I keep getting more questions. What is the state of hip hop in Boston? I don't know much about hip hop in Boston, but is that a big hip hop environment, or
it's not as big as we wanted. You know, I think a lot of Boston artists, they go elsewhere to get exposure. You know, maybe work with other quality producers or other MCs to get features and stuff. So they go to New York, they go to, you know, down south, or they go, you know, in Miami, or they go west to Cali or something. They do, but there are a lot of quality MCs and a lot of quality producers here in Boston, and I'm tapping into that, reaching out to them. So you're gonna see, you know, not just past reviews that of me having Boston artists, but future reviews of a lot of artists coming soon that will be in my that's actually lined up already to be on the show on my YouTube channel. So yeah, like I'm tapping.
Sounds like a great book project. Boston hip hop, man. That sounds like a great book project.
See, he wants more than the percentage.
I need more book sales. I need more book sales.
Yeah, no. I'll play, but yeah, that's a great idea, man. Like, you know, I would tap into that because Boston, you know, I actually just had Boston artist Man Terror. He's from Orchard Park, and he's an OG. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the dudes that was in the Wise Guys. He was down with you know, RSO and them kind of. You know what I'm saying? So he, you know what I mean? He did his Just Dudes, but he's still rapping. He put out a recent album, and I had him on the show recently, and we was talking about the Boston hip hop stuff like that. And he was kind of giving me some more channels to find more of the MCs and artists too, because he's still connected. Like while I'm looking on, you know, this way, he's looking that way with, you know, combining, trying to figure out where all the quality artists are. So yeah. Boston's struggling a little bit, but they've been doing much better, you know, since Maurice Starr and all them.
Okay. So talk to us about Severe's Chronicles Volume 2, man.
Man, this right here, man. This, you know, it's funny because when I was doing Severe's Chronicles Volume 1, y'all better get it. Y'all hope y'all got it. If you don't got it, get it. So number two, I was doing number 2, but it's the 50th year of hip hop. You know, August 11th, 2023 is the 50th year of hip hop.
Really? That's my birthday.
Oh, man, look at that.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do when I knew I was gonna have a book come out before that date, I said, and before my birthday, which is July 29th. Y'all should have, you know what I'm saying? But Leo, I had to throw that in. But so I wanted to do something different. So I want to do Volume 2 still, but I said, yo, let me just do all classic albums, or at least classic albums that I believe are classics that I want people to be introduced to. But there's albums in here that you go, oh yeah, I knew that was a classic, but you get to see my breakdown of it and stuff like that. So I did Severe's Classics for Volume 2. And of course, there'll be more volumes of Severe's Classics, but I'm going to go back to, like, Volume 3 is probably going to be back to regular albums that, you know, maybe are almost classic, could be classic, and, you know, giving, like, other artists shine. Because, like, books like this give a lot of artists shine. Books like this might be like all the people that you know, famous and stuff like that. But there are some gems in here. There are some artists that you would never think, you go, who's this guy? Who's this girl? Who's this person? Who's this group? And hopefully, you know, I give them some new fans and they get them some money in their pocket, and so they can resurface and do some tours.
Yeah. I love in the book, you kind of break down what your definition of a classic is, because like you said before, you know, some people may consider the Chronic album a classic, me being one of them. But then you have some people who's like, yeah, it was all right, right? So how do you define a classic?
Man, a classic to me, man, like I said, especially for an album, can't be an EP, it has to be an album, it has to be something over 10 tracks, it has to be some volume in it. Back in the day, you know, albums were an hour and above, you know, of listening time, you know, some 45, maybe an hour and more. But that's not what I'm just looking for. What I'm looking for is, you know, passion, desire, great music. You can tell, like, they put the album together in perfect form, story mode, like, in a sense, like, you know, like you watch a good movie or read a good book.
Yeah,
you know it's good by the, you know, from the front cover to the end, you know, and that's what these albums usually do, man. They kind of take you on a journey, you know what I mean? Maybe up and down, might have some fast beats, might have some slow beats, but they do it in a pattern like a heartbeat, you know what I mean? And they drag you into it. The lyrics drag you in, the music drag you in. You get goosebumps, your head starts to stand, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to go into it, man. The music, the heartfelt vibe of it, you know, especially the lyrics. I mean, I'll just take Stevie Wonder, for example. Like, Stevie Wonder, that voice is incredible, you know what I mean? And it's just like that for any hip-hop rapper. Like, you got to have a vocal tone or a certain pitch, you know, to keep me, you know, wanting to listen to the next track and the next track. And then those tracks just gotta flow and be fluid, man, and just have some great sounds for the ears and the mind and the heart and the soul, man. And that's what I really, you know, I think it's a hip hop classic. And you can't have no skits. Maybe like maybe like a, you know how they do the what's it called? The you know, people do skits. Mm-hmm. I can skip a skit. That don't really count sometimes. But if the skit's dope too, you know, it makes it more of a classic because skits usually intertwine with the album and make it more, together in a sense. You know what I'm saying? The conclusive. You know what I'm saying? So like, I like the skits. I like everything about these albums, and just the way they put it together, man. They gotta marry these songs together and these skits together, whatever it is, and it's gotta be great for the ears, man. And you gotta be able to ride to it, clean to it, whatever, man. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know, say an album has to be 5 years or 10 years before you call it a classic. If you know, your ears know. Like when I first heard Doggy Style from Snoop or Nas Illmatic, I couldn't put it down. You know, I said, no, this is a classic. I didn't care if it was a week late or 2 weeks it came out. I was like, this is a classic. And people were like, you're crazy. And then all of a sudden, like years later, like, classic. I go, I told you, like, I got some. Sometimes you just gotta have it. Like, I think I have a certain vibe, a certain cadence to listen to certain music, and I can kind of like figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So last time we played a game, I got another game.
Oh shoot, I like
this game just came to me, but I want to play classic or clutter. Okay.
Oh. Classic. That's what I'm saying. You put me on the spot. That's what I like. I like
classic or clutter. When I give you the name, all right, you got to go right off the dome. I don't want you trying to, I want you to go straight off the dome. So I'm going to give you 5 albums. All right. You got to let me know, classic or clutter.
Do I tell you why afterwards? I just say no, just go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's got to be one or the other.
All right,
if it's not classic, it's clutter. Okay. After we get through the 5, then I'll give you an opportunity to explain why. But I want your immediate thought. All right.
All right.
Kanye West, Life of Pablo.
Oh, it's not clutter.
What? Oh man, that's a classic for me. Nas, It Was Written.
Classic.
Snoop Dogg's gospel album.
Clutter. Clutter, man. Oh, man. Clutter.
Wu-Tang Forever.
Oh, classic.
Okay.
That was a double. Yep. Wu-Tang Forever. That was incredible. Incredible project. I had the tapes, man.
And the last one.
Right.
Redman, Doc's the Name.
Classic.
All Classic.
Right. Now, let me tell you about Life of Pablo, though. Life of Pablo, it's close to me. Like that's why I was like, damn, I don't want to say it's clutter but you're gonna give me the option. I thought it was a great project. It's a great Kanye hasn't really put together a bad project. I don't think he's ever put together a bad project. You know,
that last gospel one, and I'm Christian and I supported it, but his quality of rapping when he went Christian, I hate to say this, it was not as creative. I felt like when people go into the Christian rap, they're boxed in on the kinds of analogies they can make, the kinds of metaphors they can make. And for Kanye, from my opinion, when he went Christian, the quality of his skills had to change. So I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, but I would have called that considered the gospel. I would have called that if he was playing the game, I would have said clutter because it was kind of all over the place. But I did like a lot of the tracks on there. But going back to Life of Pablo, it's close to a classic for me. I really do love that album. I love the album. Like I really love the album. But like when you was like it's classic to me, I'm like, damn, I know it's classic to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But it missed on a couple tracks, and it just for me, and I was like, it just took me out the zone. Like if an album's like playing good, and all of a sudden something comes on, and I'm like,
where'd that come from?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. So like, you know, he's experimental, and that's what I love about Kanye. He's experimental. He's doing all this stuff. He is an artist. So when people say who's an artist, you go like you might, if an alien came down, we say who's an artist. We're gonna point at Kanye first because he's experimental. He does different things. He doesn't really care about someone's opinion. If he loves it, he's throwing it on the track. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, so that's why I said Life of Pablo. I won't throw it in the classic category, but if maybe in a couple of years or two, I might throw it there. But like right now, no. Right now,
okay. No. Then you said Nas, It Was Written was classic.
Yeah, because after Illmatic, and then people were like, this is more. It was more gutter, more grimy, more like down to earth. And then he did It Was Written, and it was more like. More conform, more like more, I guess I'm trying to like, I don't want to say just more clear, more he had this better studios, the better sounds, better, kind of better, but not better production, but like, it was a longer album, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he had get able to get better production and whatever, like just fine tuning more. So It Was Written, a lot of people battle back and forth about do they like that one more than Illmatic? So I thought, he was on a good run, just like he's on a good run now. Nas is on a 5 album and 3 year good run with albums with Hit Boy. So shout out to Nas and hip hop.
So we said Snoop Dogg's gospel album, I think it's called Bible of Love. You said
that was cluttered, man. Like listen, and I respect Snoop. I love Snoop, and Snoop Dogg's the most famous rapper in the world. We already know that, but. And it's, for a lot of other reasons, you know what I'm saying? It's not just his rapping. But he's another artist that experiments and, it's like, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a cowboy album. He just does whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
And I respect that. I love it. But the gospel thing, come on. It just didn't hit, man. It didn't hit. Come on. It didn't hit, man. Snoop, Uncle Snoop. I'm bad. It didn't hit, though. Come on, Snoop.
What I do love about different artists who grow, who get the opportunity to grow like Snoop, is we get a chance to see all sides of them, because we see rappers and they have spiritual backgrounds. They went to Sunday school. Their moms, like Snoop Dogg's mom, is very religious. He has that background, and he gave us a chance to see that side of him as well. And that I love that. I love that.
No, 100%.
It said Wu-Tang forever, and I'm not surprised that you would consider that classic.
Wu-Tang, man, from the first album, 36 Chambers, man, they came out. It was another. It's kind of compared to Nas. It was like a rough album, rough cut. It was just grounded. People was like, "What's this?" And they loved it, and they said that's a classic. And then when they got to Wu-Tang Forever, it was more fine tuning. So RZA got to be in a big studio, probably. He got to be around the more equipment that can fine tune and make it crispier and clear. And but he was still on that road. I think he just made those beats that his prior beats just more clear and got put them through the ringer, and they made them more better. But sound more better, more clearer. And I think he already had that album, or at least most of them tracks, ready. And he just continued his pattern, at least the first, second, and kind of like the third album. So yeah, he was on a run, man. RZA is one of the best producers in the world, man. I got to give him his credit. Shout out to RZA, you know what I'm saying? And all that, man. RZA and the whole Wu. And keeping them together. Y'all, I mean, if you saw the series, I mean, it's probably not exactly like that, but RZA had to keep 9 people, happy.
That's a lot.
It's like a marriage, you got 9 women, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy like that. So, yeah. So I got shout out to the RZA.
And then lastly, we said Redman Doc's the name.
Redman's one of my favorite MCs and rappers. He's always been. Doc's the Name was just one of those ones. I was like, yo, what is this? Like every album he was doing was fantastic. Like he did the second album was not so good. There's the Dark Side's not good. I would have probably cluttered that one. But his first one, Doc's the Name, and And that was fantastic, man. It was incredible project, man. And everyone can't wait to Muddy Waters 2, because I guess he's working on, because Muddy Waters was a classic too from Redman, and he's about to release Muddy Waters 2, I think. So he keeps saying that, like Dr. Dre kept saying the Chronic coming out, and it took 80 years. So Redman's doing the same thing. So Redman, you hear me out there? Come on, man. Muddy Waters 2, stop playing. Stop playing.
What I love about this game, man, it really did show how much you know about hip hop. Because I'm telling you, outside of like the Chronic, I couldn't tell you all the albums that my favorite artists put out. That was fun, man. Listen, tell people how they can get in contact with you. What's coming up for Marquis Walker?
Well, I'm gonna first of all, thank you for having me on the show again, man. I appreciate it, man. Y'all tune in, y'all tap in. If y'all want to write a book, tap into True Vine Publishing, man. Get in touch with this man, Timothy Bond. He will help you. He will have pay. Like, I'm the most. If he had to talk about behind the scenes, he'd be like, he wanted the show before the time. But like, no, say, but like, he's patient with me, man. He's gonna work with you, and is a great publisher. He has a great team behind him, man. But anyway, in the future, man, yeah, man, I'm gonna continue to do these books, man. Like, I love that. You gave me the chance to do my first book, Cevere's Chronicles Volume 1, and then Cevere's Chronicles Volume 2, Cevere's Classics. Go get that. Hip Hop 50th, man. So it's a dedication to Hip Hop 50th. And then doing the ebooks as well with Cevere's extended plays, EPs Need Love too. I'm going to continue doing these series. So I'm going to continue doing the books. Volume 3 should be coming out probably either end of this year, next year, something like that. I'm going to continue doing the EPs as well. EPs probably come out more faster than the books because the process of doing ebooks is faster. Of course, I just found that out through you and through your knowledge. So maybe I'll give more EPs love, and then eventually get the books out continuously. But I'm on Threads. Okay. So Mark, you can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on Instagram, and you can catch me on Threads. Those are all 3 Mark Zuckerberg joints. And then 3 for the Stripes, Adidas, Boston. But and you can catch me on TikTok. You can catch me on YouTube, of course. And any channel. You can look up Marquis Walker. You can look up Severely Yours. Usually, if you look up Severely Yours with a C, it's Ceverely Yours, YOURS. You look up Severely Yours, you'll find me. You'll find me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You'll find me on something, and you just click it. You can find me. You can find the books, of course, or at True Vine Publishing, or you can just find the links through my social media. And if you're a hip hop artist, a producer, whatever, get in touch with me. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about your music, your music from the past, and music that you're doing now, and your music in the future. And let's connect. Let's interview. Let's talk. Let's have discussion about hip hop. That's what I love to do. So,
listen, everyone, we want you to like and share and subscribe. Marquis, thank you again for being on the show, man. You have a wonderful day.
I appreciate it, man. Peace.